Good evening. Welcome to the SCA Newsroom with Dale Penny. I'm Scott Myler, filling in for Dale, who has the night off. Tonight we take you out to Finger Lakes National Forest for a special look into the life and work of an SCA Trails crew. We start with Holly Perkins reporting from the Ravine Trail.
Thanks, Scott. I'm here at the Ravine Trail today to tell you about this rock structure before me. Now, the reason this is built here is because it's trying to hold up this entire hillside along with the trail leading up to it. And the structure before was not standing the test of time. So a crew came in, tore out the dilapidated rocks and rebar. Might I add, the rebar was very dangerous, poking out. And we took that out, and we benched the side of the hill, giving a slight inslope so the rocks could be built into the hill. Then, you might be asking, where did all these rocks come from? Well, I'll tell you. There's a lovely stream bed down below that we quarried all the rocks of the hill. Now, with our carefully chosen rocks, we dry stack them. You might be asking yourself, what is dry stacking? Well, dry stacking is making sure your rocks are firmly planted on one another. You want 3 points of contact and no wobble to ensure that your structure will stay in place as long as possible. So, we began by picking out the perfect rocks to lay on top of one another. And then, we backfilled with crush that we made ourselves. After we had the entire structure completely built up, we wanted to make sure that we were giving it a batter. And then after that, our structure was complete. And then we re-vegged the side of this hill to make it look as if nobody was ever here. Now we'll see how long this rock structure can stand the test of time. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you, Holly. What's this? We have word of a breaking news story. It appears that Kevin Hart has just finished the Interlochen Trail Turnpike. Let's go to Kevin now.
There, all finished. This is our first of 4 turnpikes, and this structure right here is known as a turnpike. Originally, this stretch right here had a boardwalk going through it, which is just a bunch of wooden planks, and it was here because this part of the trail is super muddy. Unfortunately, it was falling apart, so since this trail is open to both hikers and horse users, the horse users were detouring around it over here, and that was making a mess of things. So, our first step was to dig out the trenches for the culverts, because we want to redirect water coming from up the slope underneath the trail so it doesn't wash out all of our work. This was difficult, especially on that end over there, because that was the muddiest end of this project site. Back here is Ellen finishing off the very last of the ditches. Our second step then was to lay railroad ties right here and right here, and what this does is it holds the structure in place. So then we laid landscape tarp down the entire length of the turnpike, and we filled that with gravel up to the level of the 6x6 ties. And then we folded that landscape tarp over like a burrito, and our last step was to crown off the structure so that this was an even and hard walking surface for both horses and hikers. And now off to finish the other 3.
Thank you, Kevin. Riveting report. We here at the SCA Newsroom are now proud to bring you a special interest piece focusing on the daily life of Finger Lakes Trail Crew member Ellen Berry. Take a look. You won't want to miss this.
What a beautiful day for trail work. time for breakfast. Food always tastes better in the great outdoors. Time to make my lunch for this afternoon. Peanut butter and jelly, my favorite. We trail workers work up a mighty hunger while we're out there. Everything looks good. Time to get to work. Working in the great outdoors, you have to deal with the caprices of Mother Nature. Sometimes it rains. Sometimes it pours. But you won't catch us taking a day off. And you have to keep an eye out for vicious wild animals. Herd hat on, just tighten it up. Alright, let's get to it. Trail work's a dirty business. Sure works up an appetite. Let's head out and get some grub. Back at camp and ready for dinner.
Boy, Ellen, I sure hope you worked up an appetite out there. Tonight we're having biscuits and gravy with home fries.
What am I not hungry? This looks delicious.
Don't leave me hanging.
Good. After dinner, Mark and I shared the duty of doing dishes. All my responsibilities are taken care of. Now it's time for a little me time.
What a brave young woman. We now bring you tonight's top story on the construction of a new self-moldering privy. Let's go out to Mark Sabota at the Dunham Shelter.
Thanks, Scott. I'm here at the site of the new privy at Dunham Shelter. There's two things that need to be known about this privy. First, it's self-moldering. This part right here is known as the cribbing. That keeps the privy up about 3 feet off the ground, allowing air to flow underneath of it and break down the waste. Second, the privy, you can tell by its size and the ramp that it is ADA compliant. This is important because of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which requires all new buildings built on federal property to be handicapped accessible. So now that this baby's all completed, we can give it a try. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you, Mark. I can't wait to try it out. That does it for tonight at the SCA Newsroom. Be sure to check back in tomorrow when we look into the exciting world of Leave No Trace camping ethics.